Okay, Lone Rock, February 7th, 2023. This is the current view of the beach itself. Lake Powell is right over there. I think we finally hit the level of lowest it's ever been since 1960 something. You can see over there, Lone Rock's completely dry. We're heading there right now. You can kind of see over there, we have the layer on the bottom sticking out, that red layer. Top layer is white, Entrada. Bottom layer is Carmel. We have a little baby slot canyon here, of course, with tumbleweeds. Usually tumbleweeds are the first to grow in this kind of environment, then tamarisk. Buoy lines, high and dry. Looks like they took the buoys out a while ago. You can see now the road through here is accessible, depending how much the creek is washed out. We'll get to the creek shortly. That's Wahweap Creek, coming from Kane County, up near Big Water, Utah. All that fun stuff. We're gonna try to head over there to High Five Canyon. That's high and dry. Let's see how much of a difficulty it is to get there. It's a better view of Lake Powell. Stop to get a better look there. There she is. You can see a car over there. Individual, give you a scale idea. Okay, going through a little forest of tumbleweeds. We'll see how bad these are, how much they interfere with our little hike. Getting closer to Lone Rock. We're kind of right in the middle of Lone Rock Bay, which would be Lone Rock Bay with higher elevations of Lake Powell. See, the sediment has changed a little bit from that blow sand from the Entrada. Now we're in that little bit of a darker color. All this darkness is coming from over there. You can see the tropic shale. That is the layer above the Entrada. Right there, that washes out, comes through here, then goes into Lake Powell. Okay. Last time I was here, this is as far as I could go. The water line was about somewhere over here. And obviously we've dropped a decent amount since then. Okay, let's see if we can navigate through these tumbleweeds without causing me trouble. It's good to be on the lookout if you're ever hiking out here. 40 years of boating, a lot of people have dropping things. Some things went overboard. Hopefully we don't discover any bodies. Usually that's the case. Lake Mead, Las Vegas, mob town, but accidents do happen out here and bodies are never recovered. We're at lower lake levels here, so it's more obvious to find items and surprises. Usually non-recoverable bodies are in deeper water, more in the main channels, which are about 300 feet to 500 feet deep. Full pool, excuse me. We're on a little floodplain area over here. A little bit closer to Lone Rock. We're now in the Wahweap Creek channel. I'm at the higher up plane when there usually is flooding. Flash flooding is very dangerous out here, of course. A lot of people know that when they hike in the Southwest. It's one of the big killers in slot canyons. Creek's obviously at a low flow, probably some snow melt from the recent storms we've had. can see over here the amount of sediment that's built up over time. This is probably deposited throughout Lake Powell when the floods would come in. Usually when you would have the lake here, it would bring in lots of driftwood. Give you a closer look. That sediment is about 10 feet thick from where I'm at. The creek recently has cut this and has made this channel within the past 2 years. So Lone Rock here has been high and dry since 2021. That was about the time where we officially started dropping hard in regards to the lake level. Now I just need to traverse across this and try not to get my shoes muddy, but that's going to be a little difficult. Obvious signs of animal life. Someone's dog. Looks like we have some birds over here. I'll just give you another idea how thick this stuff is. It gradually decreases as you go closer to the lake. Okay. I'm gonna try to find an alternate crossing, if there is one. I'll just give you a little bit more background. Like I was saying earlier, tumbleweeds are the first to grow in. Then usually the tamarisk trees. These are both, believe it or not, invasive species. I believe the tumbleweed, an American icon. Forget the scientific or botany name for it. But that's coming from Eastern Europe. Tamarisk, I don't know where they come from, but I know they were put in for flood control for California during the late 1800s and 1900s. They drink up a massive amount of water. If I'm not mistaken, I've heard they can drink up to as much water, one tree adult, as much as an acre of corn. It's a lot of water, especially when there's multiple trees. That's adding to a little bit of the problem out here. Because you know, us humans, we're a little greedy when it comes to water. There's another view of Lone Rock. See here, we have branches, roots, and even pine cones. You see right there. These pine cones have traveled a very long distance, or relatively short, generally speaking. But this obviously is a floodplain. This is where it was flooding out for a decent amount of time. Then the elevation finally dropped due to the creek cutting in. You can see the deposits there. Good example of how fast these cut. So that looks like 10 feet, no more than that, about 12, 15 feet in some spots. And that's cutting within the past 2 years, so it gives you an idea of how soft sediments are able to be cut so rapidly, especially if the amount of water is minuscule. But in very, very big floods, it is not minuscule. It is massive. This debris is washed down in the front of the flash flood. And it looks like I'm gonna have a hard time crossing. We're gonna have to find the best spot and get my feet dirty. Yeah, let's see if we can figure this out. Alrighty. I think I found the best spot I think we're gonna get. I'm gonna have to take one for the team and just dive right in, to be honest with you. There's no way to get around this without getting a little dirty. There's nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to show here we have some sort of quicksand. See, nice and hard at first, then when you start digging into it, it starts to liquefy. Something you can get out of. If you get pretty stuck, it becomes a challenge. But it's some sort of liquefaction, if I'm not mistaken. Typically, when you start moving it around, the water gets in between the sediments. Then it starts acting like a liquid. That's a full thing of mud right there. So we want to stay on the hard stuff, but the more I step on it, the more likely I'm gonna fall in. Looks like over here, let me get away with my tree here just for a second. Oh, that stuff is pretty good, gooey. Yeah, we're gonna want to go through. So in this situation, I'm gonna take my shoes off, then go from there. I made it safely. Not too bad until I get to some tumbleweeds. We're gonna try to avoid those for the moment. Let my feet dry off, get all this sediment off. Okay, I'm still shoeless. We're making our way over. Made it this far with no stickers. Yeah, so the reason for this video, what I'm trying to do here is just document, because obviously everybody knows storms in California have been really good, and that inevitably came here a few days later. So I'm anticipating personally, this is not a guarantee, obviously I'm now official scientist in regards to weather and all that fun stuff, but Colorado snowpack is looking good. They're in the 100s and above. Majority of all areas, the Green River, Dirty Devil. So I am anticipating that there will be water where I'm standing this year in 2023. The lake is at such a small level, a low level, that it's all in canyons right now. So as soon as there's any water coming in, it's gonna rise rapidly. And it wouldn't be surprising if we get 2 feet a day of elevation gain with water. So Lone Rock hasn't been documented properly in my opinion, so I'm gonna try to get some good footage of it today, share it with everybody on the internet to archive this wonderful landscape. You know, Lone Rock used to be an area where cowboys, cattle ranchers would drive their cattle through. People that are pioneering, they would come here. It's a monolith, big boy that stands out, and obviously people would spend the night over here, carve their names in the rocks. So let's see if we can find any cowboy glyphs. That's what I believe they're called. And I'm about to put my shoes back on. There we are, south side. This side is facing south, and I'm looking north. We're finally approaching the rock itself. The first time I've touched Lone Rock in probably 3-4 years. Kayaked to it, boated around it plenty of times. I've been on that little sand dune over there when the lake was at a higher level, not this low, obviously. We were able to touch it within standing in the water. And Lone Rock here, as I said, is part of the Entrada sandstone. This is a Jurassic rock type. You can see here, let me point this out. You can see these lines right here. It's possible these are areas where people have bottomed out, but I could be mistaken. But usually that is the case with these lines that are in these rocks when it comes to the lake. Here we are, a little sign of quagga mussels. I think they detected those back in 2008, 2009. They confirmed they were here. And obviously they got into Lone Rock. Okay. We'll zoom out a little bit. It's the wide angle view. Give Give you a little perspective. Wow. This will be a first for me. Looks a little modern to me. Some modern graffiti. No. Very looked down upon. And also illegal. Especially in National Park Service land. They don't like that. So technically, since this is operated under the National Park Service, Glen Canyon Recreation Area, I can't even collect rocks. If I wanted to pick up a pebble on the ground and take it home, Park Service would say no. Leave it as it is. Okay, let's traverse around this large rock. Give you an idea, there's the beach. Lone Rock Beach. Get a little zoom on that. Or at least with low lake levels, it gives the beach a break. Usually 4th of July, a lot of people come in, defecate on the beach, their dogs pee and poop everywhere. There's a large outbreak of E. coli, and they shut down parts of the beach. It's pretty bad, so at least the environment is getting a little break regarding the human foot traffic. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Cave there. Not likely a spot where a cowboy would go, but you never know. Drastic times call for drastic measures. You can see these large chunks. This has fallen off Lone Rock over the years. I don't know if this was pre-Lake Powell, but it's obvious these were underwater for a decent amount of time. Large chunks will break off. You can see that's probably a chunk. Yeah, these commonly break off in the wintertime due to water intruding and then freezing and expanding. I don't know quite the scientific name for it, but I know there is one. We'll continue along here. And trying to be on the lookout for any treasure. Barrels of remains. Just kidding. See more quagga mussels on the rock face there. A little zoom on that. Usually it's common for them to hide from the UV light. No, they don't like sunlight too much. You find nice shaded areas of the canyon walls. They're littered all over. It's kind of surreal being over here this way. Get another shot here. You can see the full pool line. I don't know if you can see it clearly. It's about right there in the center. I think that's about 160 feet up. Back in 2011, we were jumping off that. Call it white walls. That was a little bit lower. And for any Park Service individuals watching, it was no higher than 15 feet. Allegedly. What do we got here? Beer can. Let's see. Coors. I don't have any trash bags or else I would start grabbing everything. Okay. Give you another look here. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I think this is the perfect time of the year in regards to snakes. Usually this is probably a thriving ground for them. The bush. Definitely got lizards out. Got a nice little treat here. Seepage. Now I don't know if this was originally a natural spring, but you can see it's obviously seeping in that crack right there. So the sandstone is sandstone, it's porous, so it's like it pours on your skin. There's little bits of holes where water can intrude, then just absorb. So the water has absorbed over it's 40, 50 years underwater, and now it's coming out. Gravity is acting upon it. You can see there, nice little spot for plant life here. Little green patches, probably good for the goats. I know there used to be a herd of goats over on the grand staircase that would come down to the lake. Yeah. Now here, I don't know how buried Lone Rock is compared to what it used to be, but I guaranteed over a few decades there's been some sediment, obviously. Wow. Definitely a nice grow ground for that plant life and that seepage. So we're on the north side, approaching the north side here. Oh, looks like that's a bowl of some sort. Why that's there, I have no idea. Maybe this rock was attached to the cliff. Someone pounded it in to anchor, but those are very dangerous. Get a better shot, I don't get out of there. Yeah, someone jumps off a boat into shallow water, hits that, you're going to the hospital. You're gonna have EMS fly you out, ruin a nice family vacation. Yeah, and it's also defacing the rocks. Also illegal. Okay. I don't see any cowboy glyphs yet. More zebra mussels, quagga mussels, whichever breed you prefer. We got them. A little bit of cross bedding right there. You can see how the layers are horizontal a little bit. Definitely not going to get into that. I don't know if I'm qualified enough to get into that. But you can see a lot of this debris has fallen off the cliff. Rock debris. Now we're approaching an area where we used to also cliff jump. No higher than 15 feet. This area here is a spot we can just get off the boat, jump in, and swim up, climb up as well, get to our little cliff, enjoy ourselves, burn out a little bit. I'll show you that shortly. Okay, this is that little cliff jumping spot I was talking about. Certain lake levels, you can actually just climb up that cliff face right there and make your way up to whatever height you want. Then jump off into decently deep water, depending on how low the lake is, how high it is. Wow, beautiful. Classic Glen Canyon scenery. Large entrada outcrops. You see peeking over there is some of the tropic shale. And over there is further into Lone Rock Canyon area. Traversing around, doing a full 360, then I'm gonna go up that sand dune over there. If I was a cowboy, that's where I would camp. Now, who knows, you know, some of these cowboy glyphs I'm talking about might not even be here. Might not even exist. You know, that's the allure of the Southwest and its area. You never know what you're gonna come across out here in this fine desert. But it's always best to be on the lookout. Try to see and know what you're looking for. All right, this up and down is gonna kill me. I think I'm surrounded by tumbleweeds, so we are going this way. I'm gonna sleep good tonight, or strand myself out here and have a horrible night of sleep. Okay, now we're on that sand dune. Now, I believe, from what I've heard from some of the old timers, you know, this has been here a long time, this sand dune. But I do see signs of no cowboys. But just regular people. Defacing a rock that a lot of people hold dear. Oh, there we go. How many of them broke up? You know, I guess the only time I would consider this okay, maybe if it was on one of those. A little personal rock, hide it somewhere. But I can't condone those such actions out here in our beautiful recreation area. You know, it's interesting, National Park Service actually didn't want anything to do with recreation areas. These are just massive bodies of water behind these mega dams, Lake Mead, Lake Powell, and others. These massive bodies of water. The Bureau of Reclamation didn't know what to do with them, so they handed them over to the National Park Service. The National Park Service didn't want anything to do with it, just because they're about preservation and obviously intruding large bodies of water on public land, something they don't like. So it's kind of a double-bladed sword for them. But they probably made revenue, who knows? Okay. Little sand dune view. More of Lone Rock Bay, the backside. Remember a while ago, over on the hills over there, I remember my dad parked the boat, went off hiking, left us kids being shenanigans, and the boat started to drift away. We didn't anchor it off. So Dad hikes over the hill, and we just hear the boat. We're like, huh? And this is in March, so the water, if you've never been to the lake in the off season, it's quite cold. 55-degree water, and sure enough, we all jump in, swim to the boat, get in the boat, drive the boat back. And it was a nice little adventure we had. More to come. Like I said, I'm optimistic. The water will return. So we're gonna head over here and continue on our little adventure to the canyons of Lone Rock. I forget the names of all of them specifically. But yeah, those are high and dry. We'll see if we can get to High Five Canyon, depending on how much time we have. But yeah, interesting to see Lone Rock high and dry. Something I never thought I would see without water around it. Insane. It is what it is, though. No point in dwelling on it, you know. It's out of our control, besides controlling the reservoir flows and the amount of water allocated to the upper basin and lower basin states. So a little bit about me, you know, like I said, I was born and raised here in Page, Arizona. Spent most of my life on the lake, and would go there pretty much after school. My dad would have the boat hooked up in the back, pick me up from school. And me knowing that, I would have my board shorts underneath my jeans in the wintertime and go to school in the spring and fall with my board shorts. So, never really knew, you know, as a kid, you kind of take it for granted how special a place is like this. And now I've just been out here, continuing on. Worked at a resort out here called Amangiri for 7 years, which was a wonderful experience nonetheless, you know. So now, figuring out what to do next. Wahweap Creek. Okay. Let's see what kind of obstacles are ahead of us. Okay, we've traversed around the epic creek known as Wahweap Creek. Now we're approaching Lone Rock Canyon. High and dry. Wow. All right, folks, we're getting deeper in this canyon area, this waterway, floodplain, whatever you want to call it. So, same story. Nothing's changed. Last time I was here, there was water in this area. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was water where that hump is right there. You can kind of see it in the center. Little U. You can go over there, climb up to the top of the cliff and do a little jump. That was my first when I was 12 years old, believe it or not. A little young, don't you say? Yeah, so over here, we got the cliff jumping cliff. Over there was the big boy. I never wanted to do that one. Obviously for purposes well known. It's pretty high. Now, I remember 2011, back again, Lake Powell's elevation was on top of that rock. We were able to stand on that rock. The very, very tip right there. We were submerged in water, just waist deep, but we were able to stand on top of it. That was 2011. Almost 12 years ago, about. Insane. No treasure, still. Kind of bummed out by that, but, you know. What is that saying? I forget the saying. Some things you don't wish for, or whatever it is. Yeah, someone can correct me on that. We're approaching. Over there's High Five. Now, I don't know if that's the correct name again, but that's what my father named it. We'll see when we get back there how far we can go. I know it gets a little slotty over there. You know we like getting slotty, you know what I'm saying? Okay. There we are, the cliff jumping cliff. I'll go further out. I don't know how far out I'm gonna go, but let's just see what we're dealing with over here. Cattail land with tumbleweed. Now it's getting a little soft on me, but this brush is helping me out. So here we are, the cliff jumping cliff. Beautiful. Zoom out a little bit, get a better shot. Get the GoPro on there. Going through the bushes. Oh, bushes, bushes, bushes. Okay. All right. Let's get a better look at that cliff jumping cliff. And there she is. Wow. A little sketchy to be jumping off that, don't you think? A little shallow. Okay. On the sand dune where the cliff jumping cliff is. There she is. Wow. Best to stay left on this one. Boom, boom. Over here is a little rocky. Yeah, she a little dry. Okay, High Five is this way, but obviously this is going to be a fun situation to find myself in, put myself in. As we all know, I'm going to go as far as I want. Let's see how much pain we can deal with. Looks like I'm not the first here. Obviously, I don't think that just stayed there as the lake went down. So it looks like animal tracks here. Could be a dog, could be a coyote, could be both. Well, it seems like we could find a path. Okay. Now, I've only been as far as the lake would let me in this canyon, so we're gonna see how far we're gonna go on this guy. Oh, treasure. Lord help me, we just found our first bit of treasure. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. That is sunglasses. Okay, let's see how valuable they are. I don't know what the lie is. I know in anything over a couple grand, Park Service wants you to turn them in. Oh, we got here? Maui Jim. Maui Jim. I think those are valuable. I don't know my sunglasses these days. There's one. There she is. There we go. Looking a little dirty, huh? That's fine. Okay, this is the treasure in this canyon. That's the first. High Five Canyon approaching the entrance. So when we approach the area, I'll let you know a little story I have. Remember my uncle, he likes to tie one on and drive his boat. You know, it's very reckless, dangerous. I wouldn't advise anybody with that. But I swear he could drive a boat through anything, especially when he's been drinking. And this is where we would traverse these gorges. I don't know how bad these tumbleweeds are, but it's gonna suck if I can't go through this. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, we just don't know how bad it is. And if I drop down, I have to go through that. Ooh, I don't know about this. All right, we made it in. It has been a one pain in the butt. Tumbleweed Central. In that beginning, I had to tear out tumbleweeds with this stick. See if there's probably more up ahead. But so far, so good. Maybe they only made it a limited distance. But God, that was difficult. Ended up walking through them all. Had little thorns everywhere, it doesn't matter. That's why you wear jeans, folks. We're getting somewhere now. So like I was saying, my dad used to call this High Five Canyon. And for good reasons, at the very end, I've never seen it. It's supposed to be a formation that looks like a high five. But we're keeping our stick for good measure. Nice, it's looking a little bit better. No more tumbleweeds. God, that was a hassle. I have to show you what I did later when I go back. It's brutal. Tumbleweeds, massive. Biggest I've ever seen, to be honest. Wish I had a lighter. That would have made it a lot easier. Just burn the bush. But we're in a national recreation area. You can't be doing that. But I think anything below the water line is fair game, to be honest with you. All right, we're looking good now. I'm gonna keep my handy dandy stick just in case I need to plow. Remember when I was younger, I crashed a jet ski in this canyon, hit the cliff wall, fell off. No harm to me or the jet ski. Look at, there it is. There we go. Look at that, that's a monster. I don't feel like plowing. Oh, that was easy enough. God, the entrance, I was thinking about giving up and walking back. Okay, let's see how far we can go. That's the things about these canyons, like I said, the allure of the desert just keeps you going. What's around this corner? What's around that corner? If you go around the wrong corner, you might find yourself some trouble. Or the right corner, I don't know which one it is. Looking good. Wow, what a treat. Guaranteed nobody want to deal with those tumbleweeds, so I'd safely assume I'm the first person here this year walking high five. Yeah, when you come here with a boat, you see how it widens out and then thins and widens out. You know, it's a thing to get yourself into, especially with a boat, you know, but best thing to do if you don't feel comfortable is just turn off the boat, hit the oar, start oaring your way through, oaring your way back. Yeah, it ain't worth hitting your lower unit on something, breaking your prop, and then you're screwed. Let's see what we can find in here. I know sometimes in these canyons, depending on the time of the year, snakes maybe will fall in from the top rim, make their way to the bottom, hide out in some of these crevices down here. But yeah, this is something, huh? Oh, no tumbleweeds, please. So I'll let you know the furthest I've ever been back here if we ever make it that far. Whew. What a beautiful stretch. High five, everybody. You know, I like to get a little B-roll with the GoPro. Let's see if I could just have a GoPro film in my pocket. Do not want to let go of my stick. Might need this stick. Okay, we're starting to thin out a little bit. Okay, remember barbecuing back here. Now, one thing about these canyons too, I have seen an individual, this is on the Paria Plateau, a little bit closer to I'd say closer to Kanab area. They were walking a slot canyon, this guide I knew turned the corner and boom, mountain lion, frozen, looking at them, and they froze too. That would be a oh shh moment. All right, so this is as far as I've been on water. Going through this bad boy. So I promised you we're gonna get slotty. I knew there was some slottiness over here. Okay, I'm gonna leave my stick. Hopefully you don't regret that decision later. You never know. All I know is we're good to go. We got water, a little bit of Doritos. Maybe we can catch a kangaroo mice with that Dorito just in case we get stuck out here. Okay, we're gonna go around the corner. Okay, look at that, folks. Oh, we're getting in some quicksand. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna avoid the quicksand. Oop. Sheep percolating. Got some percolation coming through this sediment. Look at that. Entrada Sandstone Slot Canyon. Now usually the majority of all slot canyons here on the Colorado Plateau, not all of them, are in the Navajo Sandstone. Look at that though. Just been waiting for everybody to come here. Been waiting under Lake Powell. Now, wow, look at that. Hold on, excuse my keys. We're gonna get rid of that. Jingle, jangle, jingle. Here we have it, folks. I see some dog tracks. Ooh, we might get a little slottier than I thought. Ooh, boulder. Now the last thing we want to do is Aaron Ralston ourselves, you know, if you've ever seen 127 Hours. That is the boulders that fall into people in slot canyons. Okay. I think we're gonna put the GoPro away. Okay. All right, folks, let's get to it. We're gonna have to get a little tight. Okay. I'm about shoulder width in. We don't want too many acoustics in here. Oh, damn. Ominous. Very ominous. I think we hit our breaking point though. Debris. Oh yeah, we've hit our point of we're not gonna risk going through that. Wait, let me see, hold on. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, no, we're not gonna risk ourselves. You gotta know when to turn around sometimes, folks. Now, if you notice above me, I have a huge log that is pretty much well jam-packed in here. It's unfortunate I can't go any further, or I've never seen the high five. Okay, I'm gonna turn around. Look at this stuff here. Sketchy. Okay. All right, let's get out of here. Oh. Nice. Well, that was worth it. That was nice. High Five Canyon, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that piece of sandstone being held by that fragment. That is killer, 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 killer. A little bit of black widow, spider webs. You know we love them. Here is the exit, folks. About arms. There. Beautiful. Look at that. Let that focus a little bit. Oh, nice. There she is. Wow, surreal. Cool to be back here. Beautiful scenery. Southwestern US, baby. Okay. Let's see if I film any more, ladies and gentlemen, but I am going to enjoy the quiet walk back. I was going to end the video there, but back out of Lone Rock, and if you look, you'll notice a trend. I've just given up on tumbleweeds. We're just going to trailblaze through them. Made it. Tumbleweeds as far as the eye can see. Whew. Hope you guys enjoyed.